Well, hello there. I thought I would do a quick video about taking care of your brushes because people ask me this a lot and it's a really good question, and a video is worth a million words. So here we go. I am working on, first of all, hello, welcome to a corner of my art table. It has the brush holder that my granddaughter made for me. It's not so sweet. And lots of other things that I'm playing with. But anyway, back to the point. I am doing some paint on Steve's Valentine's Day present and just some splatters to give it a little color. I have some nice other things to add. But I decided that I didn't have any wrapping paper, so I used this brown paper I had saved, and it just looked kind of bland. So that's what's so great about being an artist, because we can fix that so quickly. So I just spritzed a couple reds, and I'm giving it a little bit of splatter. And to do a splatter, this is a great brush. It's a big rigger. It's like a 10 rigger, so it's really floppy. I'm not going to show you because I'll get it all over my phone. But it just splatters really good. You can also use a toothbrush, which I don't know where mine is right now. But anyway, I'm just tapping. Oops. I'm just kind of, I should make a puddle, but I don't really have a good spot for it in my palette right now. So that's why I'm not getting very much moisture, because I'm just kind of rubbing it on the cake. But anyway, I'm getting enough to just add a little bit of color to this paper. I mean, this is kind of a fun exercise in and of itself, really. Okay, so I'll let that dry, and then let me show you what I'm going to do with this brush. It obviously has quite a bit of paint left on it. I am going to rinse it off. And it's a pretty floppy brush, so I don't have to scrub it on the bottom. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold it upside down and just squeeze the water out so it goes into a point, some semblance of a point. This one's not really gonna be pointed, but I can try. And then I lie it down flat. I don't want to stick it into my sweet little brush cup, because then the water will run down the ferrule. I think I'm saying that wrong, but anyway, it'll run down the ferrule and it will loosen up this metal and stuff. So I want to lie it flat so that it can dry like that. Now, you might notice that this is dirty water, and that's one of the great things about watercolor if you're starting to paint, is the cleanup and the transaction is really low. Like with an acrylic brush, if you leave paint on an acrylic brush, you'll ruin it. You have to throw that brush away. With a watercolor brush, honestly, this is not best practice. Do not do what I'm saying, but I'm just being honest with you. I don't wash my brushes every night, and I don't wash them in clean water probably as often as I should. I do have this little jar of clean water here, and I was going to show you best practice might be to rinse my brush in the dirty water and then rinse it again in clean water. And this is also a sable brush, so I don't have to smush it on the bottom. And then I'm just gonna, if you don't care about getting your table surface dirty, then you can just, go like that and drop the water. I shouldn't say dirty, wet. It's not dirty. And then I just leave it to dry. That is leaving it flat to dry. That is very important. Washing your watercolor brushes every day, not so important, because our medium is activated by water. So even if I leave paint on it, I can activate it with water. I can loosen it back up again. And if it's a sable brush or another pointed brush, I can reshape it. So some people say, if you do want to be careful, like traveling with these. I have one that I travel with that actually has its own cap. And then when I'm taking more brushes, I have a roll, which I can show you another time. But that you can reshape the points. You know, it might take you more than once because it's a natural hair. So if it gets bent, it will be bent for a few times, but you know, over time you can get it back together. This one that my stepmom gave me, oops, it got pretty bent. I don't know what happened to it at some point, but it got smushed away somewhere, and but I've worked it back. It's a size 6 sable round. So anyway, with so then let me show you with synthetic brushes like this one. Oops, this one. These don't swirl the way a natural hair brush will do. So to clean these out, you do actually have to kind of just beat them on the bottom. When I'm using synthetic brushes, I'm pretty hard on them because first of all, they're cheap and you know, they never had a point, so I don't care about that. But you also kind of need to be, to get the paint out, to get the water to move through them. You just got to be kind of hard on them, which is one of the reasons I really like painting with natural hair brushes, because they swirl and they lift and they just do, it's just a more gentle painting process. But you can absolutely make it work with sable brushes. And the ones that I've really gotten into lately are these Princeton Aqua Elite brushes. I got a set, there's a link below. But actually this one was different, this is a dagger. But anyway, I got a set of them and I like them. And they are the closest synthetic I have found to natural. There's something about the way that they move. I would not beat on those brushes. They don't need it. They don't deserve a spanking. Yeah, but they keep a point pretty good. And you know, these will not last forever. They will wear out, which is why I think the investment in the more expensive sable brushes is worth it. Because if I treat these right, and by right I mean when they're wet, lie them flat, they will last forever. This will not. All right, so that's pretty much how you do it. If you want to be super particular, you want to use clean water. Now, the last thing I'll tell you about cleaning my brushes is once in a while I will take them to the sink and run running water under them. That's the most cleaning I do. I feel like, you know, I can like spread them open and get the water in there and then, you know, shape them, and then I know that they're really clean. So if I'm going to do an A+ job cleaning my brushes, that is what I do. But I don't think it's worth the waste of water, frankly, to do that all the time. You know, I don't have a schedule. Sometimes I used a bunch of different brushes and it was like really goopy paint, and I just feel like, nah, these guys need to scrubbing. Kind of like I feel about my dogs sometimes. All right, that's it. Have a good night.